Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rose is like investigator. Hell, huh. Everybody, welcome. Rose is like investigator. So, guys, it's almost 12. I had a kind of a long day, but I did go to see today was John Lennon's birthday. It's still today is birthday, his birthday. So I went to Strawberry Fields in Central Park, the Upper West Side, across from where he used to live, the Dakota building, the 72nd Street, because Jay Delalar, a longtime supporter, follower, she loves John Lennon and she asked me to go. Well, no, she didn't ask me. I mentioned, right? I don't think she, no, she mentioned months ago. She said, oh, remember that his birthday. And then I looked it up and then I almost forgot. And then I told her, I said that I wrote down my calendar and I went and made a little video. I took some footage. And so I am showing to you, I think I'm gonna put some of it at the very beginning of the video once I finish this one and edit the video. And so that's very cool, guys. You know, it's very cool because it's such a positive thing. It was brief for me. I went around like in the afternoon, but it's so nice, to think of something like that. And Jade wanted me to get Ozzy Osbourne. I didn't. I feel like Ozzy is still recovering, to be honest. It's kind of soon for him. So, so that's a story. And what a time to be alive, Honestly, as you know, it's I don't know what to say sometimes, that we're dealing with this thing. Thank God at least we're in it together because imagine if we had to explain to someone like what we're at least we're seeing it together. Okay. And John and Jen Lennon had an interesting message for us. He said, and I'm sharing this with you because I picked it up then. He said that next year to look forward to next year because it will be a time of celebration. Like in the next his next birthday will be very different for us. It's not to say that it will take a whole year for it to happen, but that the vibes in the next birthday will be very different. So that's the story. Okay. Now, guys, there's so much, I was a little overwhelmed today. I had some appointments, readings, and other things, but there's so much going on, and I apologize because I'm often a little bit behind things, but I'm just going to focus on a few things. I sent it to myself here. I already started last night. I was already creating the file for today, but there's so much more that happened. So let's get started. So I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that I create the good and only the good, and so it is. Okay. All right. So let's see. I just opened actually the wrong one. Let's see here. So the first thing, you know what? I sent it to myself. Just 1 second. News links. Yeah, it's funny. The apps have to sync because I have this journal app that I sent it to itself. Let me just go back to the Wall Street Journal because some of it has. Okay, so now I have to say something about now the hostage to just quickly here about let me share here. Israeli government approves hostage deal setting a ceasefire in Gaza. So I have to say, I kept seeing that Bibi could do because I'm very familiar with Israel in terms of what's happening in the internal politics, and I think the hostages may be released, but BB, because for months, for ever since the very beginning, right, he has been trying to prevent this from happening. He has, if, and I talked to someone who lives in Israel, and he's been doing this sabotage work against releasing hostages for years, forever. The latest one is that you may know that he bombed Qatar, right? And then Trump got involved and told him to apologize. And Trump is the one pushing this deal now. I think there's money involved. He's getting money from Saudis, from Qatar, whatever Trump is. But what I want to say is this, is that I think there's a possibility, I'm not saying it's going to happen, right? Exactly. There's a possibility that Bibi could try to sabotage this as well, because he's done this every single time, every time. And then as he tries to do that, I think that's when he may be removed. So next week will be really important. And if you're new here to the channel, know that I put on makeup sometimes, especially when it's late at night. I'm a very practical person, you could see. Mm-hmm. Very practical. I have a lot of places to go. No, I don't. So, so you understanding? Understanding? No, really. So it would be good. The good thing about this, if it does happen, is that Phoebe is gonna. I see that he will be removed. So next week is gonna be very big because it could be something surprising about the Bibi leaving the Israeli government. Okay, I'm not saying again because he always finds a way. This is something he does, and I don't think that because the issue for the hostages for Bibi is that there's all these legal cases against him, and if he is no longer prime minister, he's going to have to go and answer, and he doesn't want to. So that's this whole thing has been doing is all about keeping himself out of legal trouble. Like somebody we know. So let's see. And there's a chance that this could still happen between now and then. Okay, between now and the time when the hostages are released. Okay, all right. So let's go to the next subject. So okay, Letitia, New York Attorney General Letitia James is charged with bank fraud. Justice Department brings case against Democratic official after urging from Trump. And here is actually, let's see, her statement.
System. He's forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding. All because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country. This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right.
And so today I'm not fearful.
That's right.
I'm fearless.
That's right.
And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Mm-hmm.
We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you. I got 2 hugs from her, as you know, one time. So, guys, this is a powerful speech from Letitia James. And I agree with her, of course. about, you see the thing about fear. Uh, yeah, it's interesting, right? That's what I was saying. This is a time for this is a time to do something. Like this is a time to stand for something. And that's exactly as she put it so well. Um, because this is a time to speak up, to do something, right? And he saw that. And I remember when I went to see her in 2018 when I got hugs from her. I remember I was arriving and she was saying that she sees her work as her ministry. She's very a person of faith. She's very religious, and doesn't have to. It doesn't mean that you have to be religious, but she's definitely spiritual, and she sees her work really as that. And so she's repeating that, something that she practices. And I remember, I've said this thing about fear a lot. And I don't think guys, I sometimes talk about it. Who knows what's going to happen, my own whistleblower thing. One of the things I wrote to someone who I was actually somebody that I was sort of defending. I said something like, I'm not a, okay. I received this letter, like an email, and I knew, guys, it has something to do that. It's a very, a lot of details. It was written in the like my natural language, but I just knew it's a long story to explain the syntax and how it works. But I knew the Russians had written it, and I told the guy, I said, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid I'm not afraid of. I fear God, not false prophets. That's the moment that we're in. Because if when we try and do speak the truth, and people come after us, this is a time of history where we have to stand for something, right? And not be afraid. So, and guys, this is the funny thing about the whole thing, right? At the beginning, when I like in 2018, I remember I had written something about, made a video about Roger Stone getting information to and from Russia. And that's when I got these messages. And they were sort of like, I could tell they were sort of like recruitment messages. They were in English. But then when I did my whistleblower thing about this thing, long story, I received similar messages, one similar message in a different language, but I could tell it was the same kind of thing. And I knew there was a also the head word net, even though it was in a different language than English, because it's a long story. So, and it's so funny because then this, even though this work that I do there here and as Rosie, um, it has led me to understanding how rough things. So it applies to many, and there's people out there in the business world who are connected to them. Somebody close to Elon Muscovite. I think that was the person behind the thing that I did that sent me the letter. But why am I saying this? It's guys, in a way, I know people were like, Rosie, it's a little like, are you okay? Are you sure? But we have to say it. We have to say it, because if you get scared, it's like they win. They're gonna win. Mm-mm. And think of all the times in history when people stood, like sometimes they pay with their lives. I'm not saying that I'm like gonna be like that or be a martyr or something. And neither is Letitia James, but you have to, we all take risks in a way or another. And if these people, and I'm just a very small person in the big scheme of things, I'm not like them, like powerful. But if you think about it, like every time one person stops something because somebody like that did something, then they get bolder and bolder. But we can't let it happen. So if you believe in the truth and you stand in the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And as Letitia James said, no weapon raised against me shall prosper. No, no. So anyway, it's weird. I should be scared, but I'm not. Have you noticed? It's kind of strange. Interesting information. Interesting information. So, okay. Now, let's go. Hey ho, let's go. So this is another one. Now, there's another piece of news. Guys, I know it sounds so depressing as I'm telling you. There's another piece of news that I hope, you know what? This is annoying to me. It's so annoying. I really always do that. I always transfer the phone. Oh, where's my phone? I have to go get my phone because I have this app that I really like called One Day, and it's like a journal to-do list thing, and I can transfer articles. I send it when I see one that I like, I send it to that so that's on my computer one, but not always. I have to open the phone because sometimes it doesn't transfer. So let me just pause. Okay, so I was able to open the phone and then I open the article here. So, okay. I mean, this is a tabloid, but this was discussed by, I think, Caroline. Donald Trump returns to Walter Reed for health exam after months of mystery bruises. President Donald Trump is undergoing a medical exam on Friday after months of growing health concerns. Donald Trump is undergoing a medical exam at the end of the week, according to a statement from the White House. So I saw something else. Here it is. And that's right. This is the second doctor visit the president has had this year. Levitt added the president is considering going to the Middle East shortly thereafter. While speaking to reporters, Trump said he was debating traveling to Egypt on either Saturday or Sunday as he seeks to seal the deal on the peace agreement in Gaza. So somebody else, when I saw this news, it was from someone who said they had made the same statement that he was his annual exam back in April. So it's obviously not his annual exam, it's more. So what is happening here? Let's see that he's not in good health. And I see there's a artery blockage. Oh, I think they did some one of those more modern operations on the heart, but I feel like it's clogging and he's not doing well. And that's it. They put a stent. There's something, I feel like there's something with his heart. And I see that the doctor, if he has a family member present, needs to tell them that he should think of retiring, but he can't because he's too afraid, right? Imagine that they accuse him or something, but medically he's not well. So, so okay, I don't see that he's good. I think he's not well enough to travel, I don't think. But I feel like he may want to go to the Middle East just because it's like his ego craves it. But I don't know that it will happen. Because I see, like I said before, guys, I think there's a chance that BB could fall next week. That'll be interesting. But okay. So there's more. Um, Now I haven't talked about the Stephen Miller. A lot of people send me that clip. What happens? Yeah, I see that when he said this thing, I forgot exactly the words he said. They had total power. It's not, I think it's not true. And he's giving up. That's right. He gave up the plan, I feel like. And he's like, oh, that's the whole thing they're working towards is the whole Nazis. It's truly a Nazi thing, like the copying the plan. But it doesn't really go. It's like I feel like he's actually a bit afraid of Stephen Milleris because I feel like he seems to know that things are not going the way they want it to go. Whatever it may appear to the public, whichever way it appears to the public. Okay. All right. So there's another piece of here. It is. Now, this may be a little bit scary, guys. You know, the former Republican election official buys Dominion voting, a target of 2020 conspiracy theories. Denver, voting equipment company Dominion Voting Systems, a target of false conspiracy theories from President Donald Trump and his supporters since the 2020 election, has been bought by a firm run by a former Republican elections official. The new company announced Thursday. The newly formed company, Liberty Vote, also vowed to follow the executive order Trump signed last spring, seeking sweeping changes to election policies that multiple judges have put on hold for violating the Constitution. So this is scary, right? Because as we know very strange things that happens. Now, I don't, guys, I get spiritually speaking that things are going to change, but this is the key. Okay, this is the key. And as I tell you this, I see the military announcing that they have to watch out, do the ballot, like because it's insecure. We cannot have any sort of digital ballots. And even the tabulation date, like dating, right? The dating tabulation, voting tabulation data, because if you count the system and you put it through these things, everything has to be transparent and secure because they've been doing this forever. And I think with Elon Musk, they may have done this, right? Successfully. And so let's see what's going to happen here to this. It's a scary question, like I said, because as we know, look at what they prioritize, right? It's interesting. I see the face of the Palantir, and Palantir was involved in the Elon Musk scheme as well because they bought this. Remember that there's a very sidle company. I forgot the name. It was like this Trip Electronics. It was bought by, I think was it bought by Palantir or a company? It was bought by a company that then did business with Palantir. So it's very shady, and we continue to see this. And it's an attack. Like we have been people say, oh, we're going to get into war. We are under war in a way or another, war against democracy for sure. And so, Spirit, please tell me what's going on. How can we hold on, keep the faith? They say the faith is what is spoken through you. It's not something, it's saying the truth is not something that is dead. It's something that you have to speak every day and every time. And you have to have faith and you have to do the work of faith to affirm it to be, and it will be. But you cannot sit back and just expect things to just magically work. They will not do that. But it's saying, it's interesting. I see this image of Trump being thrown at a wall, like crushed by those truck things, those trucks that crush trash. And all those schemes that he has carried on will be dragged out too as well. Because it's like it's an all-encompassing thing. So it's interesting. It shows me January 6th and how he got away with it pretty much, but this time is different. Because also we have the precedent of January 6th, right? So what can we do? Keep the faith. Keep the faith. That's one thing we can do. Keep the light. No, don't fear. Because it just tells me they're gonna fall flat. So, and then you guys, I need to visit my parents. I'm worried about them. I need to find I don't know where my Brazilian documents are, but I want to go only after trash goes, hopefully soon. So we'll see. Okay. All right. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay. Bye bye.